What's up, guys? It's Rob here, man. Robert Castillo. I am your host today here on A Billion Lives. The whole point of this channel here is to provide you the ideas, the people, the technology, the innovation, and the mindset in order to help change and impact the lives of 1 billion people around the entire world. Why does that matter, helping 1 billion? Because it's impossible for me to do it by myself, but even the word impossible, it says I'm possible. And the way we're going to do this together is to work together as a team. Because there's no I in team. And because of that, I brought someone here today that understands the concept of teamwork more than anything else. Now, Pedro Neiva is someone who grew up, who was born actually in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Now, he's Brazilian, speaks Portuguese perfectly fine, grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, and because of that, an Auburn fan, obviously. And then he came down to Miami, where he then attended at Corey Senior High School, and then for college he's a former Division I offensive lineman for Bethune in Daytona. Then he went to a junior college in North Dakota, where he then graduated after a severe knee injury that ended his football career as a college player. He attended Florida International University, FIU, here down here, and after he graduated, went straight into being an offensive line coach. And out of the 5 years he's been coaching here in Miami-Dade County, 3 years he was an all-star coach. 3 years. So, and every single time I've seen him play, coach, he's always had the school has always had a better record than the year prior. His goal is to become the head coach for Auburn, and I know one day he's going to do it. He's lost over 152 pounds on his journey here today in the last 2 years. A time where people told him, you're not able to do it. He didn't even believe in himself, but he made everything happen to make it a reality. Now, without further ado, I want to introduce you to a guy who not is only a lover of football, but is a lover of both footballs. And on top of that, he puts his heart on his sleeve. Without further ado, Pedro Neiva.
Oi, galera, tudo bem? Aqui no Brasil, vendo aqui em Miami, falando com vocês aqui, mas eu tô aqui em Miami para falar mais sobre isso.
Obrigado, Pedro, prazer aqui também hoje. I'm not really good at Portuguese, but we're starting from somewhere, right? So, Pedro, I have the very, very first question I have to ask for you. So, I've known you like, what now, 8 years?
Yeah.
8, 9 years?
8 years, going
yeah,
on 8 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And I've been to at least one football game every year you've coached. You coached 5 years within Miami-Dade County, right? Mm-hmm. Now, how does it feel to be the 2007 Patriots?
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, right?
Yeah.
Go undefeated in the regular season, losing the championship game, yeah, that's kind of, basically 2007 Patriots for sure, yeah, definitely. It's heartbreaking, but,
Especially since you're a Chicago Bears fan.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's heartbreaking because, you work so hard, you go undefeated, and you want to cap it off and win a championship, but, as the 72 Dolphins prove, it's not that easy.
It's not that easy to go undefeated the whole entire season, including playoffs, Super Bowl, everything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's still a little heartbreaking, but you gotta move on, right? Life moves on.
So, alright, so funny enough is that every single time I've seen you coach, what are the teams you coach? You coach Southridge, Barbara Goldman.
So I started coaching my first year, 2015 at Barbara Goldman.
Okay.
And my 2016, I had moved. I went to Keys Gate Charters High School in Homestead. Then I went to my alma mater, Coral Reef, in 2017. Southridge in 2018, and then back at Barbara Goldman in 2019. So 4 different schools, but in 5 different.
Five bases. Okay. Now, do you know, or what were the differences in records from the year before to the year you started to the year that you played?
So I know at Goldman that first year, the year before I came, they were 2-8, and I think 2-8, and then we showed up and we finished 4-6, and we actually lost 3 games by less than 7 points. So we could have also been district champs that year for a young team that we had. And then the following year at Keys Gate, they had, I think it was like 2-8, same the year before I came, and then we went 4-6 again, and we lost to 2 state runner-ups that year.
Who did you lose to?
Jacksonville Bulls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty beat up by them, and then Shaman Madonna.
Uh-huh.
So we lost 2 state runner-ups that year, but 4 and 6, and then went to Coral Reef. I think they were 2 and 8 again.
Oh, Coral Reef always sucked.
Yeah, well, Coral Reef was 2 and 8 the year before I came, and then I think we finished. I think we had 4 wins that year, 4 and 6. No, we didn't finish. No, it was 3 and 6 because that was Hurricane Irma year, so we had lost a game. So we only played like a 9-game regular season.
Okay.
And then South Ridge the year before, they were 6 and 4. That was the year before I came, and then we finished 9 and 3. Lost in the second round. Won the district title, lost in the second round of playoffs to a team that we beat in the regular season, which is kind of a irony because the same thing pretty much happened the following season back at Barbara Goldman. They went 4 and 6 the year before, and then we went 10 and 1. So and
With Southridge or Barbara Goldman?
Barbara Goldman.
Yeah, 10-1. That one game.
One game, title game. Yeah.
But you guys were kicking ass because in order to come from, you said from 2 and 8 to 10 and 1 in 4 years, 4.5 years, that doesn't necessarily happen, especially for a school that's not known for football.
Yeah, this best record in school history, to be honest. And the reason why we were able to do that, because we went to, instead of being a part of a district, we went to an independent league. So then we went, so we got basically a bunch of Miami-Dade County public schools who didn't want to be a part of the reclassification that FHSAA was doing. So they created our own league. So it's like we had a North Division and a South Division. So the North Division was us, Crop, HML, Westland, Mooring, Hialeah Gardens, and then the South Division had Sunset, Braddock, Varela, Coral Park. I forget who else. But yeah, those are teams.
5 from the north, 5 from the south.
No, it was 6 and 6.
6 and 6.
I'm just blanking on the
Yeah,
last name. But yeah, it's basically all those teams that might have been bottom feeders of districts and definitely going to probably be bottom feeders of other districts because they were doing huge reclassification. So we decided to put them in our own league. I mean, I can't take credit for it. My head coach is the one who him and the head coach Reagan. That was the other team. Reagan. They came up with the idea and put it all together and made it happen. So.
And so you forgot the people who made it happen.
No, I didn't forget the people. I just forgot the last team, and it was Reagan. But Reagan's really an up north team that they put in the South Division. So it was interesting how that all worked out.
How was it a north team? They're under Al and Barbara Gomez and
Miami Lakes, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
The way they cut that up, I was like, all right, sure, that works.
Yeah.
But
I mean, right?
I mean, we made it work. So I thought it was a good idea. I mean, it also gives the kids like a real chance to compete and like have a better chance of competing for a championship or competing in a way and not be a bottom feeder group.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a great idea. So I was down for it, and that's part of the reason why I went back
To Barbara Gomez.
to Barbara.
Well, also your boys with head coach, right?
Yeah, we're really good friends. I'd say like Specklin become like one of my best friends in coaching, especially like he's a guy not too much older than me, but he's been coaching a long time. He's like 11 years coaching, and he's been a head coach now for 5-6 years. He started coaching like at 19.
Damn.
So now he's like 31, 32.
But he's still a young guy.
Still a young guy, but he's been coaching for a while.
Yeah, so he has experience.
Yeah, and so he's been coaching for a while. So it's he's very knowledgeable about the game. He's definitely one of the best head coaches I've ever worked for
But
sure.
that comes to like you just reminded me because I remember every single time you would hit me up whatnot with the monthly update. I guess I remember there's always every single time you transitioned or you switched teams that there's an issue with like leadership, like with coaching and a lot of problems, whether it's like morally, principally, value-wise, or just this way things are structured, or just simply respect.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can touch base a little bit on that and like what you learned that you applied it to your weight loss or just your normal life in general, and like what you will do or not do with like your players and other coaches in the future, because your biggest goal is to be the head coach for Auburn, right?
Yeah, that's the dream job. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're a huge Auburn fan, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I guess it happens when you grew up in Birmingham, huh?
Yeah, grow up in Alabama, you gotta choose either Auburn or Alabama, so choose early. Yeah.
Oh, so so that was basically you were born and you already had the jersey on,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, kind of, yeah. Like you gotta choose. Like they're gonna ask you. This is like one of the first questions people ask you in Alabama. Are you from Auburn or Alabama fan? So, like, you gotta choose. And my best friend since I was like 4.5 years old. He was an Auburn fan, so I was kind of like transitioned to just
You just bandwagon since
bandwagon since I was 4. So you know, but I mean, I'm diehard, so can't lie about that one. But in terms of what you asked, like. So like different coaches do different things. Like you know, certain coaches have different leadership styles, and you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, you kind of just got to go with the flow because, like, you know, you're part of. You got to not create dissension. You got to sometimes be a part of the group. I'll say in my younger career as a coach, I probably would have vocalized more, and I learned through trial and error. That's not sometimes the best way because then it causes tension and things of that nature. So I kind of learned to, this is what we're going with, this is what the head coach wants. The only way I can really do what I want is if I become a head coach. So, but I kind of, you know, see where like, you know, where some coaches fall off at and where I could, you know, pick up on and like do that and the other. But I mean, you're never really ready for a head coaching job. So I've already interviewed for 2. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but it was a good experience. It was a good experience, but just to say the least, every coach has different styles, so it's different. And then even with my players, like how I've evolved in that sense and how to motivate them, that's also changed from when I first started coaching. Because I started coaching when I was 23 when I first started. Like it was right before my 21st birthday, and then been 5 years later, 29. Like I feel like an old vet now, but. I'm not
started.
Yeah, I'm still just starting.
Yeah, 5 years. That's grade school. Now you're entering middle school.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Now going on 6 years, so that's gonna be whenever this football season comes. But yeah.
Did like anything that you learned while all these different transitions help you to actually? Because I remember like at FIU, right? When I was sleeping on the couch. Yeah, so I used to sleep on this guy's couch.
You're not the only one.
And it was a small couch. I'm 6'4", and this couch was probably as long as like 5'8".
Yeah.
And so you used to wake up all the time laughing at me and whatnot. And Pat's like this short jit compared to me having a long couch. But I remember like you've always struggled with losing weight.
Right.
I remember you lose like 40 pounds, gain it back, 50 pounds, gain it back, 30 pounds, gain it back. And then it frustrates you. It would frustrate anybody.
Yeah.
And you would talk to me, you'll talk to Pat, you'll talk to a bunch of different people for whatever reason it may be. But then something just, like you turn on a switch. I remember you called me that day when he was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it happen no matter what happens. I was in Atlanta. I remember I just finished knocking on the door and he just told me, I'm going to do this. Like, okay, yeah, whatever you say, Pedro. You know, because people say a bunch of things all the time, including myself.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is there anything for everything that happened with coaching and crap? It just made you say, all right, I'm gonna make this happen, whether people believe me or not.
Honestly, it wasn't even coaching. What had happened was
There
was a situation of a girl I was seeing at the time.
It's always the women guys.
This was like end of 2017, and we were hanging out. We were spending a lot of time together, too much time together, and then like it kind of moved too quick, too fast, and I kind of like really developed feelings for her. And then kind of like the way we ended wasn't like good. So then like I just started eating again, like eating myself. And before I had like go through the summers, and I would lose weight in the summer, and I did that. I would lose like 30, 40 pounds, I feel good, and then football season would start, and then I couldn't keep it up. So then I remember, like, after that whole situation with this girl happened, like, I went and I was eating, and I was just kept eating, and everybody told me, from my mom, my dad, like, everybody, my friends, everybody told me, like, yo, you need to lose weight. But it's one thing, like, people tell you these things, but you gotta admit it to yourself. So I remember I stepped on a scale, and it said error. And I was like, okay, and the scale went up to 400 pounds. So I'm like, okay, so I'm over 400 pounds. So that was a wake up call. Like, all right, either I gotta do something, or I'm gonna dig an early grave.
Yeah.
So I just really looked myself in the mirror and I was like, all right, I gotta find this. So I gotta make this happen. And then I was looking at gyms, and then I found the gym I went to, what I started with, and I met my trainer. Actually,
Bowley, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, his name's Adrian, but we call it, his nickname is Bowley. Shout out to Bowley. Great guy. He hates me though sometimes. But anyways, I met him, and honestly, I got really passed off to him because the owner of the gym, I came in and talked to him, and then weighed myself, and then he passed me off to Bowley. And I kind of thought, I was like, damn, I thought I was going to work out with him. He's the owner, like, he must know what he's talking about. And then I got passed off to Bowley, and Bowley was, like, very upfront with me from the beginning, like, this is not going to be overnight, like, I don't know what you think, like, you know, and I was kind of, you know, young, naive, and stupid, and kind of thinking, no, it's going to happen in, like, 6 months, bro, I'm going to lose all this weight, and be chilling. And then I remember the first month happened.
Yeah, you signed a contract.
Yeah, I made it. I was so serious about this. I remember I told myself, and I told myself, and I told my mom this. I was like, yeah, I'm serious about this time. And my mom was like, yeah, okay. I was like, all right, I'll prove it to you. So I was like, all right, let's make a contract. So I made a contract with my mom stating, it said for a year at first, but we amended it, but that if I lose, if I went from 400 pounds, over 400 pounds to 275 in a year, that she would have to buy me a whole new wardrobe. If not, I had to like forfeit $1,000. Signed. It's still in my door in the room, and we signed it. It's a legal binding contract.
Yeah.
So I had to attend every personal training session. I have to make sure to like change my diet, this, that, and the other. And then meeting Bowley, and I was like, yo, I'm serious about this. To the point where like my first workout was on my birthday, 2 years ago. So, and it became a thing. So we started working out 3 days a week. And I was sore as hell. I couldn't feel my body. I had like muscle I couldn't even feel anymore. And then it just started. Then we started to increase a little bit more. Then we went to 4 days, and then we went. We still work out 3 days, but he would tell me, all right, now you're gonna work out 1 day on your own, and then work out 2 days on your own, and then started to increase. Then I little by little increased. But honestly, the first couple months, I think it was from April to about I want to say end of June, right before I went to go see my dad, which I hadn't seen my dad. That's
the first 2.5 months.
2.5 months. I was really struggling with him because, like, at first, actually, I tried vegan, and I was kind of also starving myself because I wasn't eating enough. I thought you had to eat less, but really you have to eat more. So I was eating less, and then I was dehydrated through workouts and doing all this stuff. So I remember I went to Alabama to see my dad. And then I saw my best friend since I was 4, TJ, shout out to him. He had lost a bunch of weight doing keto, and I remember having a conversation with him, and I was like, all right, cool, let's make it happen. So then I changed to keto. That started working for a while, and then I kind of changed a little bit up, but I remember I came back because I saw the weight loss he had, and I was like, I came back more motivated. I was like, all right, let's hit the ground running. And it just changed my mentality once I started working out with Bowley. More. So then I remember, I want to say August, September of that year, 2018, I really didn't feel like I had lost a lot. I think I had maybe lost 40 pounds. And I was kind of getting frustrated. I was kind of like, damn, bro, like, is this really going to happen? And like, whatever. And then we started to increase a little bit more. And then
you're saying more like weights, resistance, like intensity, endurance.
We did a lot of strength training, but we also did a lot of high interval HIIT workouts and stuff like that. Okay. So it was a lot of also cardio based, but we progressed a little bit. Pushing a sled, flipping tires, like lifting weights.
Football workouts.
No, not necessarily football workouts, but also like. Aerobic stuff, like he tried to make things, he would change it up a lot. Try to also increase the heart rate and my conditioning up. So then we started to make that happen. Then we started to see more of a progress. And then it wasn't until really January of 2019 that I really started to hit the ground running, because that's when I progressed to 6 days a week. That was also another girl situation. Yeah, that was
Another girl was like, nah, man, I don't want to. It's like, you know what?
Nah, actually, that situation was different, but
it doesn't matter. It motivated you to do more.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
because she like.
Did she tell you something or just?
Yeah, she kind of like told me like that we
What she
weren't
said?
on the same page and like that like she wanted to just be friends, and I was like, oh god, okay, we're way past that point, but whatever. Anyways, so I was like, all right. Then I actually found paleo, and then I remember looking at paleo because I was kind of sick of keto. Keto was giving that, keto headaches and all that. I mean, if you do keto, that works for you, like great. But like for me, I didn't really like it. So then paleo, I found paleo, and it was no dairy, no processed foods, no sugar, no grains. And I was like, this is dope. And then I just kind of created my menu on my own. Nobody told me this menu. I created my whole menu on my own, and then I started to cook. And I was already meal prepping, but then I started to have it really systematic. So I basically.
Do you only eat pasta, bread?
No pasta, no bread.
Obviously, no sugar, no candies.
No.
What else don't you eat like, specifically?
No milk.
Milk, dairy products.
Any dairy products, no cheese, none of that. Like.
Your face cleared up.
Yeah, that's it. I eat pretty much majority of what I eat like a lot of fruits and vegetables, smart carbs like sweet potatoes. I also eat very lean cuts of meat, so like ground chicken, ground turkey, chicken tenderloins, very lean cuts of meat, and all of that. Fruits and vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower rice, carrots, banana, apple.
Yeah.
The only thing probably that I eat processed is like lightly salted almonds, but almonds is part of paleo diet.
From a tree and stuff anyways.
Because it's like they say it's the hunter-gatherer diet, right? So anything that used to roam the earth or come from the earth that you can eat. That's basically what paleo is. But I love it, honestly. It gave me more energy. I only drink water now and tea.
Water and tea.
That's it. So
you can have like an occasional drink once in a while.
I mean, when the time calls for it, yeah, but not all the time.
Yeah.
But so then January I changed and went to paleo, and then I hit the ground running and started going 6 days a week. So then I would lift 3 days with my trainer, and I would do cardio 3 days. So then at first it was just I would cardio and abs. So then I would do a bunch of I would bike for like 45 minutes, an hour, abs, go home, do that. I remember in January, February, it felt like those dog days. Like I was going to the gym and I was like, bro, is this really gonna am I really gonna feel like
gonna work out?
Is this really gonna change me? And then it wasn't until I would step on the scale and we would take progress photos, but it wasn't like it didn't feel like it. Like I guess I don't know. I saw myself every day, but like it didn't seem like it made it progress. But then I would send photos to my trainer and he's like, no, dude, it's a big deal. Like whatever. So I was just like, all right, cool. Kept going those dog days, and then it wasn't until we hit a year, and then I did the progress photos for a year, and I had lost 80 pounds.
Wow.
So, but the original contract was supposed to be to 275. So I went from, I was at 404 starting weight, and then I was at 324, I believe.
Yeah, 324.
I was at 324. So then I was like, I remember told my mom back in February. Yeah, I told her in February of that year, January, February, I was like, I might not make this. Can we amend it? She was like, I want you to win. So yeah, so I put it till December 31st of 2019 to make it. So then after, and my trainer told me this, there's going to be a point where I was going to hit a huge
plateau.
Not a plateau. Like I kept hitting plateaus and going down, hitting plateaus, going down, like whatever. And then there was a point where I was going to go down, straight down. And I was like, yeah. I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, sure. And it was frustrating because our relationship is interesting. Like we bicker and argue, but I love that guy to death. But
I think that's supposed to when you're having a personal trainer. This guy wants the best for you.
Yeah, but also I'm not gonna lie, I made life difficult. I mean, I make it difficult.
You make life difficult for everybody.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not an easy person to deal with, but I mean, I know that. But anyways, so we kept going down the rabbit hole, and then it wasn't until my 10-year high school reunion came, and my goal was, my 10-year reunion was like mid-June. And I remember I was gonna go.
It was in last year, right?
Yeah, last year. June of last year.
Yeah.
And I remember my goal was to get under 300 right before. I wasn't there. I was at 300 on the dot the day I went. But I I remember that was my first time where I was like, I really shocked people because I went dressed up to the nine, to like looking good, and then like I would have to go up to people and be like, yo, what's up? And then look at me and they're like, yo, you look familiar. But I don't know how. Who are you? And then I was like,
you graduated here?
yeah, I was like, yo, it's Pedro, and they'd be like, huh? Oh, now I see it. I see your eyes, and I'm like, yeah, it's me, bro. And then I'll be like, and some of them be like, I remember one guy, he was like, yo, the football player, nah, that guy's still gonna walk in here, bro. No way, this is not you. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was a big stroke of the ego that night. I'm not gonna lie, because it was like, that was the time I was like, oh wow, now I shocked that system.
I remember when I saw you at the last game you had, the championship game. Man, I remember like I was walking to the bleachers, and the whole time I was just looking for you. It was like, where is Pedro? Yeah. Like there's 135 players on the field, 100 with coaches and everything. Where is Pedro? Like he's not that hard to find. And then I saw you. I was like, wait, what? Pedro? And I remember the most surprising moment I went was like when I gave you a hug, I can touch my hands, my fingers. And that was the biggest thing. Because before it was like this. Yeah. And I was like, man, that's hard, but now I can, you know.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. It's like some of those moments, getting some of those reactions from people like I hadn't seen in a while, or years, or even months, or whatever. Those were the most impactful. And I didn't do it for that. Honestly, I did it for myself and like to really save my own life, and which is what I did. But at the same time, some of those reactions are like some of the best points. And I remember that was the first moment, was the reunion, and then it just kind of flowed from there. Like, you know, so I remember the reunion was the first moment of like really shocking people, and then, but it was not even that. I also started to feel the clothes. I had to throw out 95% of my clothes. Like I had to donate it all. Well, not throw it out. I donated it all.
Did you keep something as a reminder?
Oh yeah, no, I still have some of my old coaching gear from that. Like, I mean, I went from a 4XL like shirt to an XL, and I went from a size 50 pants to now I wear like 36, 38.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's 14 inches off your waist.
Yeah. So then I remember the lightest I ever got to, and then I really started like, then I really made my goal September 1st. I hit 270 of 2019. I hit
2 months in advance of the amendment.
Well, about 3. No.
Yeah, 2-3 months. I guess, yeah.
So I hit it September 1st. I was 273. I was like, yo, this is phenomenal. I crushed it. This is awesome. Like, and I remember posting that, and I was like, yo, like, and I wasn't the type of person like, I'm not the type of person to, and even if you are that type of person, I'm not that type of person to like post like I'm at the gym, like, hey, I'm more of like, I'm gonna be on the low key grind, and then
with the results,
the shock and awe factor. That's what I wanted to do. Like I still do this now. I post a summary of my workouts, and that's more of an accountability thing for me and my trainer. But I honestly never was the type like, let's post a progress photo like every week or whatever. I'm not that type of person. I hated taking those photos. My trainer can tell you, I was like, bro, I hated looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, I was disgusted with what I saw. But then, you know, you make the progress. And
how important do you think those progress photos really are?
No, they're super important. Now, it depends. It depends though. If you do it by months, like, I wouldn't say like do it every week or every month. Maybe like 2-3 months at a time. 2-3 months at a time. Then you see like,
you see the difference.
Yeah, I did like, you know, I made those little pictures of like all the other ones and like put them together, and I was like, oh, now I can really see. But they are important. But I remember September 1st, I hit that goal. I was like, yes, I won this contract. And then, you know, my mom helped me get an all new wardrobe. I had to throw away 90% of my clothes, and still don't even have enough clothes, to be honest with you, because
because you keep losing weight, you're still changing your body, you're still working out. You're probably not gonna have a real like the wardrobe you love for maybe another year or two, you know, because
that's true.
You're gonna still get stronger, you know, get leaner, and do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah. So that it's funny because then in November we kind of changed it up and we started going to more strengthening. Like we were already lifting 3 times a week, but then I started lifting 5 times a week. So then I was working out 7 times a week. I was lifting like 5 times a week and doing like hip cardio for 2 times a week. So then, because then really I was working on strengthening and getting stronger. And I did get a lot stronger, able to do things I hadn't done in years. But just the way this journey has gone, like, for 2 years of, total amount that I've lost in total was 151 pounds. So
Can you say you're a happier person?
Yes.
Do you feel more successful with, that goal you did?
I don't know if success is the right word. I feel accomplished.
Accomplished, okay.
Success, I don't know, because I guess success is relevant to what people think is success. I mean, I feel accomplished that I did this, but I'm not the type of person like to. I even sometimes don't even like talking about it. I'm not the type to brag about it. Like, it took me years to get to this point, and I wasted a whole amount of my 20s doing this, and like being overweight, and like. I was not happy with myself. You know this. Like, I was not happy with myself. I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I didn't do anything. I didn't get into relationships or do anything. And like, I really hid behind the fact that football ended. Like, my career ended, and then
because you have the knee injury.
Yeah.
At Bethune.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I had 2 knee injuries. Well, I had the same knee twice. Once my junior year of high school. And then a torn ACL, and then again my sophomore year of college when I was playing at North Dakota State College of Science up in Washington. So I honestly, I also made excuses for my knee. Because I didn't rehab my knees properly the second time around, so I made excuses like, oh, I don't want to work out because it's going to hurt. And then I would just make excuses. Like, I would work out sometimes, and then I'd be like, all right, make some little deal, and then I'd be like, no, I'm just going to eat Taco Bell. And do whatever I want, and drink, and whatever. But honestly,
he used to be the head of the tailgates for our frat back at FIU.
Yeah, I helped out a lot with that. But honestly, it was. I mean, I'm glad I got this done. I wish I got it done earlier in life.
But you got it done.
Yeah, I guess I made it happen. When they say like the universe makes it happen when you make it happen, like it's on. Like there's no. It's not gonna happen when you want it to happen. It's gonna happen when it happens, kind of deal, I guess.
Yeah.
So. I mean, am I happy that I got it done? Yes. Do I feel accomplished? Yes. But I'm not done.
Of course.
Like, I don't want to...
You have new goals, you have new mindsets.
Honestly, I still want to get down my dream goal, and I even talked to my doctor about this, and she said it was possible, is to get down at my freshman year high school weight, which was 225. So I'm about 6'3".
Your high school weight?
Yeah.
Your freshman year?
Freshman year was 225. Okay. So I was like, that's.
I'm 219.
Yeah.
You'll be looking like me.
I was fine, bro. Yeah. Some people say like, oh, if I keep losing more weight, I'll be too skinny. I'm like, I've been too fat all my life. I think I met my quota, bro. Like, I'm good. Like, too skinny, I'm good with that, bro. Like, I'd rather be too skinny than too fat. And nothing wrong with fat people. I didn't like.
But they gotta hear this though, anyways, because with anyone, because I think one of the biggest things you mentioned that it was a bit of an eye-opener to even myself is like you didn't see results and change until you made the conscious choice to work out 6 days a week. And it's like anything, you have to work hard at it every single day. And you saw that in your body when it's like, man, like it's like you're saying, you're working out 3-4 times a week, you didn't see any results, but you weren't motivated. That didn't motivate you, and it was harder for you because so much more time is still going on.
Right.
But then you just said, all right, I'm gonna just crunch up my time, do it 6 times a week, and then the results just flew in.
Right, and I'll say this, like, because people ask me all the time, yo, how did you do it? What did you do? Like, and I'm like, I don't know what secret ingredient you want me to tell you. Like, it's really hard work. You gotta dedicate it, and if you don't make this the #1 priority in your life, it's not gonna work. Like, I made this the #1 priority in my life because this is what I wanted to do. Like, this was my #1 goal. I said, I'm gonna do this come hell or high water. This, even if it's the last thing I do on this planet, I'm gonna lose this weight because I'm not happy with myself and I'm not happy with the way I look. So I literally told myself that, and I made it the #1 priority. If I didn't do that, it wasn't gonna work. And that's when people tell me like, all right, so how'd you do it? I'm like, yeah, well, I work out 6-7 days a week. I meal prep all my food. I cook it all myself. I spend like at least $150 in groceries every week. So when I tell people these things, they're like, "Oh, I can't do that." I'm like, "All right, then I don't know. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, there are the people who do the surgeries and all that, and I thought about that before, previous in life, but I was like, I'm not saying, I don't know. For me, I feel like what I did, even though it took longer, it was harder. It's gonna be
more rewarding.
It's not just more rewarding, but it's like habits that will stay with me for the rest of my life.
So which habits did you learn? Because I really want to. So I was thinking about this for like a couple of days about the topic of self-control and discipline. So I'll be honest, I have a problem with discipline and self-control. Like, I think everyone has something about them that's hard for you to be disciplined on and have self-control with, and something. And so it's like, I've seen your results, you know, for 8 years. You know, I even saw you in the hallway once in a blue moon at Coral Reef. You know, that was 11 years ago. So like, what habits and like within like self-control and discipline and all that kind of stuff can you teach or share, you know, that you've made? It's like, dude, I gotta make this happen, and you created this discipline. You created this 2-year habit that you're gonna continue going.
I don't know, that's kind of hard because like the way I look at it, and listen, during football season it was extremely hard for me, like, because there would be like times like I literally, like, I go to practice and you're out in the sun drains you, but then I'm like, all right, I gotta go to the weight room, I gotta get a workout in. I don't want to get a workout in, like, I'm exhausted.
You're tired.
I'm tired. I have no energy. There's nothing, and I'm not gonna.
You wake up at what, like 5 in the morning?
Yeah, I was
5 a.m.
5 a.m. Drive to work. You
gotta be there by 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Get out to.
We leave at 3, so like I'm from work from 7 to 3, teaching and all this, and like then I go to practice, and then we have practice from like 4 to 6, and it's in the middle of the hot sun. I can't deal with it.
And then you gotta go to traffic.
Yeah.
And so to gym.
Yeah. I was working out a lot at the school too, because the weight room, like, they opened it
right
up.
there.
But there were days I was like, I really don't feel like working out.
Yeah.
But I said, no, I can't do that. I can't miss a day. I don't care what it takes. Like, I don't care if you have to create your own energy, and you have to find it within yourself. Honestly, it's discipline, but
I never heard that before.
What, create your own energy?
Yeah, I never really heard it like that before.
It's like you have to create it within yourself because you have to want it.
Yeah.
Like I can sit here and tell you like, oh, you should do this, that, and the other, but it doesn't work for everybody like that.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody's the same way. And even my trainer told me this, like how he would train other people. He said I was way different from everybody that he's trained. So it's like you either want it or you don't. And I hate to be like clear cut like that, black and white, but it's true. Like, you either want this bad enough or you don't want it bad enough.
It's true.
And
that's with everything.
That's everything. So I wanted this bad enough, and I made it happen. Like, I was gonna take everything I had, make it happen, or this is it. Like, start digging the grave. Yeah. That's how I felt. And
maybe honestly, you lost some weight along the way.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, sometimes I still look back and I'm like, man, I really did that. But at the same time,
ways to go.
At the same time, not only just have ways to go, but I'm like, yeah, I did that, but I'm like, how did I get here? Like, I know I got here, and I know what it took, and honestly, I would never go through that again, because it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. By far. For sure. The hardest thing I've ever done.
It's like when, so last year, January, I always talk about the story. So Manny and I, we were in Aventura at my place, imagine, it was 11:11 at night, right? We're hanging out for a little bit, smoking some weed, and then Manny's like, yo, so my view is the beach. It's all the ocean, it's the ocean. And so Manny's like, hey, so how far is the beach from here? It's like, it's about 45 minutes walking. He's like, no, you're lying. It's 5 minutes. It's right there. What are you talking about? So no, it's 45 minutes. He's like, no, you're lying. He's like, I'll show you. I'll show you my beach. He didn't just define which beach. So basically, long story short, we created a game out of this whole thing, which was called Never Look Back. And by the end of the time, we ended up running 20 miles all the way to First Street on the beach, and to watch the sunrise. Like, let's run 20 miles. Imagine, and we made the conscious. First, it was just like a game, it's like you're probably like working out and this and that. But then at one point, it's like, okay, it's either we do this or don't. And then it was 4 in the morning at that point, so we had 3 hours to get there, and the GPS said you have 4.5 hours to arrive, and we had to cut 90 minutes to get there on time. We got there.
Yeah, honestly, things like that, like, I'll tell you, like, even like, so I would work out at the school, and I would work out, like, going to the gym, like, I work out Planet Fitness or whatever. I used to hate going to the gym, public gyms like that, because, like, it's kind of annoying, because, like, sometimes some people don't know what they're doing. They don't have a set idea of what they're gonna do, how they're gonna work out, and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to deal with other people, and I was just kind of annoyed.
They don't have a plan.
They don't have a plan.
And that's what annoys you. They don't have a plan.
They don't have a plan, and then they're like, they take up the machines and they take up spots, and it's like, bro, I'm trying to get in and out. Like, that was it. Like, my goal was like, I'm gonna go in. If I'm here for 45 minutes or an hour or whatever, in and out, I'm done. Like, I'm in and out, bro. Like, there's people that are there for like 3-4 hours, and I'm like, no, bro, I'm in and out. So, like, I had to get over that. But, and also, we lived in close proximity to each other, too. So, it was like, there's days, like, I would see her during lunch at work, and then after work, I would go to the gym. I'd come home, come to my apartment, and she would either come over to my place or I would go to her place, and we'd hang out for 3, 4, 5 hours during the week on a school night. Like, just spending all this amount of time together. And it kind of, maybe we did spend too much time together. Looking back on it, maybe there was too much.
I think, man, and in any situation, is that, so, how long have you worked together for?
I mean, we were dating, I'd say 4 months together for like just over 2, like officially. And
okay, so 4
like,
or 5 months.
Even then for me, yes, it was not that long of a time. Some people, like, even some of my friends are like, bro, it wasn't that long. Like, why are you heartbroken over this? And I'm like, well, because it felt longer.
Yeah, I get you, dude. Look, with my last ex, I was around with her roughly the same amount of time, heartbroken to death. But there's one thing that I realized. So a girl told me this, right? And they said, look, if a real woman, is willing to chase you down all the way to Mars, she really wants to be with you. She wants to be. If she really wants to be, she would do a lot. She'll do. Now, there's always an equal step. Now, if a girl isn't willing to do that, it's because, man, like, she's bored, she's tired, or maybe there's something there that's just not clicking anymore. And the thing is, there's so many fish in the sea that so what, it's like, why. I get why people are saying that, but it's hard because you cannot control what your heart wants.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But in the end of the day, if you look at it from a rational perspective, if you see that this woman isn't willing to work hard or try or anything, just talk to you as a normal human being. Because I've seen what happens, and why would you allow yourself where that pain is your pleasure? Because that's what it seems like.
Yeah, somebody put it to me like this, like, and the way things has spiraled to this point now, even now, like, where her and I stand, like, it's almost like I get, like, subconsciously, it's almost like I get pleasure out of getting pain, and I don't know why, or
us men were masochists by, like, biology.
I don't know why.
Somehow.
I don't know why. I can't even explain to you why. Like, I mean, I fell for her, fell for her hard, and I couldn't help this because, like, she came out of nowhere, like, literally unicorn that came out of nowhere, and the way, she was different from any, one I've ever dated before, like, a bunch of tattoos.
She was also like the first real person you dated since your transition.
Your first serious relationship too, and then I really also, I'm very stubborn. To a T, like, I'm my own worst enemy, and that's part of my problem. But I literally was trying to make it work come hell or high water. So I literally would, you know, things would happen. I really was the one to try to apologize and fix everything because I wanted things to last and I wanted things to go the distance. And
But she wasn't willing to put in the work.
I don't know if she wasn't willing to put in work because I can't speak for her.
Yeah, of course.
But like,
But anyone who doesn't want something to work out doesn't mean they don't want to put in the work.
I mean, I still think the reason as to why we broke up, which I'm not gonna really say, but I don't quite understand it. Like in terms of, you know, the way she equated it to, like she equated to what I did. And sure, what I did might have been wrong. Like I admit my wrongs, and I told her I was wrong. But like she equated what I did to cheating, and I didn't feel like it was cheating.
I remember, so like, look, she has no confidence. Like I know about this.
I'm not
she
gonna
has
speak for her.
she has no confidence. Like you don't have to speak to her. I'm gonna speak for her. Why? Because I can get the blame, not her. Fine. You know, I don't know her, but I do know she's Dominican. And what I do know is also she has no confidence. She has very low self-esteem, and that happens with a lot of girls everywhere, especially from a Hispanic background.
Yeah, she's half Puerto Rican, half Dominican.
Oh yeah, you know how crazy that combination is. You have white rum and dark rum together. You have mango and mofongo put together. You have merengue, bachata, todo juntado, los primos juntado. Bro, like it's not easy to be that kind of blood. It really isn't. And it could just be simple like, yeah, I admit there's always a 50-50. There's problems with the man and there's problems with the woman. Well, and sometimes if like you generally cheated, it's 100-0. You know? But like even then, like everyone has to take some kind of piece of the blame. And from a little bit I know, cheese is willing to put a lot of blame on you, man. And why put blame on yourself and make yourself feel worse? If
I don't know, because
you're used to that.
Yeah, I'm used to that. I'm used to being one that like take all the blame, like, and get none of the reward. So
me too.
I guess that was kind of the mentality. But like honestly, like even where we stand now, like it's not great.
And it's not going to be.
And we speak every so often, not as often as I would have liked or whatever. But you know, when we talk. I still wish her the best. Like I really do. Like I still
she's
care
still
about
good
her.
People.
Yeah, I still think she's good people. Like even though like some, you know, like the way things went down wasn't great. And, I feel heartbroken because of it. But you know, it's gonna probably take me a while to get over this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still wish her the best. I wish all the best for her, and I really do care about her still at a distance. Like. I mean,
social distancing.
Social distancing, yeah. But like, I care about her at a distance, and like, I still think she's good people. I mean, I'm not gonna say her name, but I still think she's a good person. But also, you know, things did not work out the way I wanted to, and it's funny. And it's funny because, you know, my mom told me this. My mom met her a couple times. My mom said from the first time. And my mom met her the first time in 5 minutes. And this is the first girl I ever brought home with me. My mom, this is the first girl I ever posted on my social media. And you know this because I never posted a girl on my social media. Like,
unless it's like
someone serious.
We're just cool with.
Yeah, or I'm just cool with, like whatever. But she was the first one like, all right, this is my girl. Yeah. And then like all of this. So I remember my mom told me this after, like, she met her 5 minutes, really briefly the first time. My mom said she knew from the first time meeting her that it wasn't gonna work out. And I was like, bro, what?
Dude, honestly, yeah, me too. I said, like me, Noreen, Pat, we all had the same conversation that night. We all agreed, this is the heartbreak Pedro needs. Like, it sounds bad, it sounds a bit like dickish, and I'm sorry, but we just came to that conclusion because. Man, like she didn't want to meet like your boys, you know. And I look at like man.
And I met a lot of her friends.
You know, a lot of her friends, and I look at this way. Everyone, it's like you said, that the person that gave the advice, you're a masochist. Most people that want a lot out of life, like you want to be the head coach for Auburn, you want, head offensive lineman coach, head coach period. You have big dreams. Everyone here also, we have big dreams. But in order to have those dreams, you have to be willing to go through a lot of pain. A lot. Is it turning off again?
Yeah.
And it sucks to go through a lot of pain, But it's the only way. It's like a failure. Like every time you fail, it's a success, because you get closer to what your goal is. You felt so much pain around your whole body every single day working out, but now it's like, man, this was so painful, but now I'm here, and now I feel happy about myself. I feel I have an accomplished, a bigger goal that I have, that I've done in my recent years. So, but I don't know where I'm trying to go from that. But.
I get what you're trying to say. I guess for me, like, and I don't know, this is part of my stubbornness, and honestly, my dad tells me this all the time. He tells me, like, you are your own worst enemy, and that, like, but the thing is, he's like, my dad always tells me I'm the most, like, dedicated, focused individual he's ever met, and, like, when I want something, I have blinders on, and that's all I want, and a lot of times that's my fault, not really seeing the big picture and seeing things, and I really, people, like, things the way I was not looking at what was going on, but I really care about, what I want, and I try to make it happen.
Yeah.
I went to the point where I'm stubborn, and I don't like. Actually, my dad calls me also self-righteous, which is true. Like, I'll listen to everybody's advice and be like, yeah, I know you're right, but I want to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And that's one of my weaknesses, like, as me as a character, as a person.
We all kind of do that.
But I was like, I want to prove everybody wrong, that this is gonna work and this is gonna happen, and it didn't. And honestly, I've heard somebody else say that this is a heartbreak I need, but I don't want to go through it.
No one does.
But also, I've been out the game for so long because I put myself out the game that I was like, that I'm playing catch up now.
Right.
So, unfortunately,
you need the nose, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, you need the nose. Like with anything, man. Every time you lift up a rep, every rep is a no. It's like, no, you can't just, no, you're a bitch. No. And it's like, but every time like you just pummel through it, it's a big yes.
Yeah, honestly, the way things, came to be, like, it felt like so quick, so fast, and how everything went.
It's just one of those.
And then it's over, like, in a snap, and then, like, I don't know, I guess I really consumed myself within that relationship to the point where I was like, a little needy, I guess, after a certain point, but it was like, because, like, I had these strong feelings for it, and I wanted to work, and I wanted to work long term, to have, and personally, I've never had really a super, super serious long relationship. Like, the longest relationship I ever had was 6 months, and not because of my own doing, but just because of the way things worked out, and I was trying to make this one last because everything felt so right, but then, like, I don't know, I guess we just don't click, and
it happened to me, man. It happened to me. Look, literally what you went through happened with my last ex.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we met in Dubai. We met at the airport at 4:45 p.m. Right, waiting for our delayed flight. I haven't slept in 3 days. This is finals week.
Right.
And we talked a little bit. I'm a social guy, so I literally said hi to every single student that was going on the trip. So I see here, we talk a little bit, and then I get on the plane, I pass out. I don't even think twice. Like, I didn't even sit for 3 days,
Right.
Pass out. It's a 9-hour flight to Germany. It's like, of course I'm gonna go knock out. I didn't need no personal Xanax like some people might need. And I woke up, we talked a little bit more, because she was like talking, she was sitting with some other people, and then we were still on the plane. By the time we get to Dubai, like, I remember I peeked at her phone, and she was on Instagram, and one of the people she searched up was with me. I was like, okay, she digs it. She wants it, right? But then from there, like, imagine we're in Dubai, and like I mentioned this, Dubai, when you're there by the Burj Khalifa, it's a panty dropper. Right. You're there by the fountain, all the different lights, the colors, different people. Like, the ambiance of it is so different just by 2,100 feet. It's so different. So, and imagine, then we're on a cruise, then we're in Abu Dhabi, then we're in Oman. We're spending literally 100% of our time together by accident. We're not even trying to, but it just kind of happened. So things happen quick.
Right.
Things happen quick. From Dubai so we left on the, I don't remember, man. We got back on the 23rd, and we're there for 12 days. So we left on the 11th. No, we left on the 8th. We left on my mom's birthday. But from there, like in a month later, we were together.
Right.
We were together, you know, we hung out. We hung out much less. We only really hung out Tuesdays and Thursdays, you know, didn't have a car, she drove. Me dio pena, like I felt bad for her, I wanted to pick me up all the time, this and that. But we were completely different people. And you don't really learn who a person is until a couple months down the line.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't know like what they like, what they don't like. You don't understand like their pet peeves, things like that. So it's like she mentioned, and you know, we had this conversation 2 months or like 6. So she broke up with me when I was in Atlanta.
Okay.
And then when I got back from Atlanta, I told her, I texted her, I was like, look, you always told me that one of the most important things to you was that to end things some way, somehow well. You know, ever since that happened to like your best friend that died in a car accident and blah, blah, blah. So we talked, we ended it, we can't say ended well, but we ended on mutual terms. And me looking back at everything, since it's been the 2 years that you don't have yet, because you need the time to reflect it, it's just like, you know what, it was definitely better that it happened like the way it did. Because you don't want to spend time and energy with someone that doesn't feel as strong as you do. And eventually you're going to find a woman who's going to want to spend that time with you and go to like Neptune with you and stuff like that.
I don't know. I think it's also like, yeah, I guess people don't work out. I don't know. For me, like I've gotten big on astrology and like, you know, signs and stuff like that. And I'm an Aries, and you know, she's a Cancer, and kind of doesn't really match up. And like, you know, I got
vibes. It's like you said, create your own energy, and your energies weren't able to create together. Weren't able to match.
Nah, like, you know, and I'd say like there'd be times like I'm very an affection person, and like I want to give affection, and she would be like,
no,
like.
That's a cultural thing too.
It's like she would tell me either like, relax there, sir, or chill out, and I'm like, I'm not even being like, I didn't feel like I was overdoing it, but apparently to her I was, and
you were.
And I guess that was the stubborn stuff with me, and I don't know. It is gonna take me a while to get over this, but
yeah, man,
I mean, listen, I still wish the best for her. I mean, I wish, you know, maybe
of course.
We didn't end on mutual terms, like kind of you and your ex, but
it wasn't mutual on my side. But once we talked, and I thought, like, well, you know, if I'm not the one able to make her happy, I want her to still be happy anyways, because she's still a good person.
Oh no, I do want. Yeah, I do want.
Yeah, so that's why I look at it as in a form of mutuality,
like I still want her to be happy, and I want her to find happiness, even if it's not with me. I would prefer if it's me.
Of course.
Still.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Things
change, and you gotta move on. Like that's the hardest thing. And I don't know. For me, I'm the type of person like I can't accept failure. And you know this. You've known me for a long time. You know I cannot accept failure, and I hate failing. So like it felt like I failed. Like I failed.
Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling. Like I'm very competitive. I hate losing.
Yeah.
Like.
Have you seen Will Smith Snapchat podcast with everything going on with social distancing?
No, I'm not.
So like he had this one segment where he got like random people around the country quarantined, and put them all in one segment, and then asked them a bunch of questions. They're couples, everyone's couples, right. And then okay, so like tell me, and he asked them certain questions to see if they knew each other or not. And one of them, like an older couple, I think it was, their biggest fear was failure. Yeah. And he mentioned, look, I love failure. Failure is phenomenal because every time you fail means you're one step closer to success. You need millions of failures to succeed, but in your case, you look at that one as success.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's fine. But in the end, it's like every time you scrape your knees, you just gotta get back up.
Yeah, and I guess I'm still trying to.
You gotta get back up, man.
I'm still trying to put the pieces together.
The thing is, it's the social distancing. It's not making it easier for you to go out in Wynwood, get fucked up a little bit, meet a girl, hang out, meet some new people, new associations.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22 because we work together. So like,
that's true.
Even though, yes, social distancing is good because now I don't have to see her every day. You're right. I think I did need this. but at the same time,
It sucks.
it sucks, and I didn't want to feel it.
Of course, it sucks. It sucks. You know, and like, you know, wouldn't want to wish it on anybody, but it's part of reality. You know, in unfortunate ways. You know, a lot of like really great people out there that are who they are today is because, like, I'll make the same example with Will Smith. You know why he became Will Smith? Some girl, before he shot Fresh Prince, Bad Boys, all that, told him, like, you are good for nothing, you will never make it in life, you will account for nothing, you will die alone, miserable, all this kind of stuff to her. And you know what he did? Exactly what you like to do. He said, you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. And then he worked every single day, just like you were working out 6 days a week to work, go to the gym to prove it wrong. And now everyone knows who Will Smith is, and he's this phenomenal guy that's done a little bit of everything. And a lot of stories go around like that. It's part of the journey.
I guess I can't apply that from my weight loss to this.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's you're learning.
Right.
You're learning. It's a reflection.
Right. And again, like I said, I do wish her the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's still a good person.
No, for sure. She's a phenomenal person. And you know, so it's like, what do you think about this whole COVID thing?
Yo, I don't know what to think, because all the news like that comes out, you're like, all right, what is really going on? And it's funny because
We don't know.
We don't really know.
We're being lied to.
I feel like this is my thing. This is where I feel like there, like for instance, if we're coming up with a cure or vaccine, right? Why aren't they getting the best, the smartest people in all the world? And I'm not saying put them in a room, but like have them collaborate. All the smartest scientists or whatever collaborate together to work together to save the human race. But now what it looks like and it feels like, at least in my point of view, is that it's an arms race. It's like almost like when we try to go to the moon. Like all these countries are trying to come up with a cure or vaccine so they can be the ones to say, yo, we saved the world, pay us for the vaccine and about the money. So it's like, this is complete unknown because we don't know what's necessarily the truth. And that's probably the most annoying part of this.
That's a good point you put it. It's like a Cold War going on.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the United States did with the Soviet Union. They created this scientific, you know, space race to bankrupt Soviet Union. And then in '97 they broke up and became Russia.
Right.
They bankrupt them, like creating all this stuff. And that's kind of what's going on right now. We have this global recession that started the moment U.S. collapsed, closed all its doors down. We touch every single point of every single country in this world. And it's true, like, I don't even know what to believe myself either, because you don't know it was created by a lab, you don't know it was made really from an animal, you don't know it was caused by 5G. It could be a combination of everything that everyone continues mentioning, because how is this some kind of information goes out there, and a lot of people are talking about it, but the thing is we don't have necessarily any viable evidence.
Right.
In some way, shape, or form. Why? Because they're keeping it secret, maintained, and that's between hegemons, China and the U.S. And they rather keep it that way because for political gain, and something like this happens every single time there's an election. Some kind of calamity happens. With Obama, it was Hurricane Sandy in New York. With this, it's COVID-19. Trump's going to get reelected.
Yeah,
100%.
I think that too.
Like, Biden's not going to win anything. Like, the only person that could beat Trump is Bernie. I don't know why Bernie isn't like the primary, because COVID-19 is the biggest propaganda ever for Bernie's point of view. Don't necessarily mean you have to agree with him.
That's because the DNC is not behind him, because he's too much of a socialist, and they think he's the radical, and they think he's not going to be that, this, that, and the other, and like that's part of the reason why. And like,
and another thing is, Biden, 49 years in office with Congress and whatnot. This guy got deep pockets. Like, I don't care who you are. If you're in politics, you're so easy to reform. You're dirty. You have to be, because it's not like I assume, like, when you're in a little room, you're with like some secret like ninjas, like some people you would never see in public. And it says that, look, either you do this or I kill your family.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of bribery, a lot of that, and they get their compensation.
Honestly, this whole coronavirus thing is like one of the weirdest things to live through. Like, I thought 9/11 was weird.
We were young.
And we were young. But like, I still remember 9/11, but like this is like This is like a whole different monster. Like this is a whole different thing because
The whole
like,
world shut down.
shut down.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm happy that I still get a paycheck, even though whatever I'm not. It's not the ideal situation, but I know there's plenty of people who don't get paid because their business goes down or
21 million people are unemployed right now.
Yeah, so like I feel bad for those people, and it's just like, what are they really gonna do to solve this problem, and how long is it gonna? The thing is, the unknown is like I almost kind of want to have a time machine, go forward in time and say, all right, when is this gonna end?
Yeah.
And then come back and be like, all right, now I know I'm not gonna say anything, so I'll just wait it out. But it's the simple fact of the unknown, the paranoia of the unknown, and like the paranoia of like, oh my God, we need hand sanitizer. Oh my God, paper towels. Oh my God, you need disinfectant wipes, toilet paper. And the thing about toilet paper is ridiculous because the only reason why everybody's buying so much toilet paper is because they're overstocking on food and they're overeating on food.
Yeah, so they poop more.
They poop more, and that's literally the reason. Literally the reason.
That's the best explanation I've heard anyone ever say. Just simple, straight to the point. Honestly,
Like that's
we're complicated. Oh, toilet paper. Like, what is it? You think it's a zombie apocalypse? No, they're eating more and they gotta poop. That makes sense.
like, and that's just the truth. But like this whole, I don't even. It's funny because the one article I read, actually, two things about Corona. In mid-February, early mid-February, and I told you this, I went to Seattle with my mom for her birthday. And it was a trip she planned, she wanted to go, blah, blah, blah. We went. I think it was a week or 2 weeks later after I come back, the first case of coronavirus in the U.S. hit Seattle. And I'm like, yo, I could have been there if I had been a week later.
Guys, don't worry. I know some of you guys are gonna comment below saying, you're not respecting social distancing, this and that. Well, face to face, we're kind of like 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
1, 2. I had to give him a questionnaire before even coming through my door. I asked him so many questions just to make sure. Like, what did I ask you? I asked you, how many people have you been with the last 30 days? How many people have you been with the last 2 weeks? Like, have they been feeling sick? Have you been feeling sick?
Yeah.
What have you been doing this and that? Like, what's your normal day? Like, are you going to school? Like, are you interacting with any kind of people? Like, are you and I think it's important to ask this type of questions because we don't know what people are going through on a daily basis, what they're doing, and because, hell, I don't want to get sick, I know you don't want to be sick, and vice versa. We want to make sure we're all on the same page, make sure we protect each other, because when borders open up, if there is a second wave, which there will be,
That's what they're saying,
yeah, there will be, because like imagine, here in Miami, it's like the last couple of days, all of us here, we're talking about, yeah, man, first thing I'm gonna do when they open up all the bars, I'm gonna go to Wynwood, I'm gonna get a girl, I'm gonna get drunk, and I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna have fun. But you know how many people are gonna do that? The whole city.
Yeah.
So it's we have to play it smart. We have to think strategically what's going on, and so asking the right questions is definitely a factor with COVID.
And the other thing too, I remember I read an article, I forgot where it was, but I read an article, something about like if you were sick in November, December, you might have had coronavirus. And I remember November, I was supremely sick. It was funny because once I started paleo, and I bragged about this later, but like once I started paleo, I never got sick again. And that was the thing, like it's for me, paleo kind of changed everything, and like what you put into your body, like all that processed food is not good for you. So like I never got sick, and I would be around kids all the time, and like they were sick, I never got sick. November, I got sick, and I had literally almost the same symptoms of coronavirus. I had a massive fever, I had a super dry cough, and I could barely breathe. And it was like a 2-week period. So and I was like, so did I have coronavirus?
So let me tell you this, now that you mentioned that, so this girl I know, she's responsible for 2 floors on a specific building in Brickell. I know a super, super awesome person. She had coronavirus in December. The doctors, she was in a medically induced coma for 30 days. She lost over 20 pounds. Jeez. She didn't come to work for 8 weeks. And like the doctors told her, like, you don't have influenza, you do have pneumonia as a symptom, but we don't really know what you have.
That's scary.
Yeah, so I remember when I finally saw her back, like everyone, because she's amazing, but everyone was so happy to see her. And we're asking like, how you doing? And you can tell her voice is so raspy. Like she told me like it took her 2 weeks to learn how to walk again. A lot of people are going through that right now with the coronavirus. She still has to go through like physical therapy. She has to do things for her lungs right now. She's doing a lot of things, like, so a lot of her symptoms, she was mentioning, like, they didn't tell me what I had, but all the symptoms, it sounds like this is what I had. I had COVID. So we don't really know, because it's a virus, we can't see it. This could have been around much longer than we would have presumed, but it wasn't until November when China starts publicly announcing it that, oh, this might be a real thing.
I don't understand, like, why, like, okay, whoever was the first case of the coronavirus, why did they put this guy in, like, isolate him?
Because they don't know how bad it's gonna be in defense. Like, for example,
but they already had like SARS and all that stuff happen.
Yeah, but that's after 1,000 cases. It's like the flu, right? In 1917 with the flu, in like the
Spanish flu, right?
The Spanish, which is what we get every year.
Right.
That's what we get. A billion people get infected every year with the flu.
Right.
To this day, 300,000 people die every year from the flu.
Right.
First year, 50 million people. No, well, the first 30 months, 50 million people died. First wave, 3 million people died. Second wave, 50. It's a big difference.
Right.
But there's reasons for that. Like, one, they don't understand the levels of contagion. Back then, there wasn't any penicillin. There was another kind of medication, things like that.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, here's like that. So there's a nurse that lives across. She told us, like, so she's going through this stuff, seeing the coronavirus.
Right.
She she has to go to the hospital. She literally wears like a face mask, a thing, like 2 pairs of gloves, like a whole she wears a nurse suit, the scrubs, and then she wears a hazmat suit.
Like PPE, I think it's called.
Yeah, like whatever it is. And she tells me, we don't know what we're fighting against. We have no idea what to do about this. We can't give you acetaminophen, that was Tylenol.
Right.
We can't give you Advil because it makes you worse. We don't know what to give you. So we're literally just sitting there trying to do our best to keep you alive, but for the most part, we're just waiting for you to die.
That's terrible.
It's and she's like crying, like like her face is blush red, black, like cherry red, like. So, man, I see people dying left and right more than I always do being a nurse. That's what I did this for, to help people. And yeah, I'm gonna see death, but we don't know what we're doing right now.
That's scary then.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to all the doctors and nurses.
Yeah, they definitely deserve it. All the essential workers, because you're helping out with kids. They still need an education. Doctors and nurses, they're on the front lines, making sure that all these things is being resolved. Us, we're finances. We're making sure businesses still have money to pay their coworkers and whatnot. Like Whole Foods, Publix, grocery stores. They're in the front lines, seeing thousands of people every single day, and but everyone's doing what they got to do to make things happen.
Yeah.
And we're definitely gonna get through this. And
that's the thing. Like, I know for me, like with football season, so like there's 2 scenarios they're talking about. There's one they're talking about scenario, best case scenario. Okay, we start in August, right? That's when season starts. But we didn't have a spring season, which we necessarily do need. But then we have to hit the ground running. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario that they're talking about is that football season is going to start January, February, and it goes from January, February to May of 2021. Which, okay, maybe in Miami we can get away with that. But
North Dakota,
places where it's super freezing cold, like negative degree temperatures, I don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because, I mean, we don't know, and this is so the unknown, man. That's what kind of, I think, makes it more upsetting.
I think that's why a lot of people have fear, because just like you, me, everyone has a little fear on the unknown. Like, you could be excited and be excited. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen next, but it's going to be great. But you still have a little fear. Like, you don't understand. No one really understands what's going on.
No.
Everyone's sketched out. It's like, man, like, there's so much lies and truth. You don't know what's real news, what's fake news. We have no clue. To the extent you do, but like these days, man, you see pictures from New York Times and Sun Sentinel and whatever else, and the Washington Post with an image from Florida from 3 years ago, beaches full, and the moment you hear, oh, Jacksonville opened up the beaches, they're putting a headline of that same picture from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think things will be fine anyways, and so. To close this off, Pedro, so let me ask you, man, is there anything else that you believe, since, the whole point of this channel is to impact the lives of a billion lives. In any way, shape, or form possible. It's not possible to do it alone. It's a team thing. There's no I in team.
Right.
To win a championship is a team. To win anything, it's a team. You had Bolé as your coach. Everything is a team. And I don't know, man. What's the message you want to come across? Share people around the world. Like I know you have big dreams and goals yourself. But just give me some closing remarks and tell them a little bit about you, man. Like what do you want? Like what do you want to change, and whatever it is you want, it comes out of your heart.
So I have a couple things. Like, one thing I didn't mention, I guess, is me going back to the weight loss journey, and it's ironic how this kind of worked out. Before I started this weight loss journey, my record in coaching was like I went 4 and 6 every year.
Yeah.
After that, after I started my weight loss journey, I was 19 and 4 ever since.
Because you were an example for the kids.
I don't know if it was an example, but it was like a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this correlated? Like, I don't know. Honestly, this is a quote I live by. Like, I got this from a coach of mine. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement, and that's true. Like, you always can improve every day and like be better than the next day. Like, you're not gonna be perfect, and I guess that's my problem, because I try to strive for perfection a lot. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I'm my own worst enemy. I'm my biggest critic. So I sometimes try to put that aside and say, all right, let me make today better than the day before. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I try to live by now. And I don't know, like, I had a lot of people tell me like, oh, you're my inspiration. I'm like, yeah, that's great. And like, I'm glad I could do that for you. I didn't do that to be people's inspiration, but if you are inspired because of what I did and like how I changed, I mean, great. I hope it works out for you. But
that's one reason why I want to go on here, man.
But the point is like, this is not easy. Like, it's not. And like, my biggest fear still is going backwards. I don't plan on it, but it is a fear. Like, it can happen, but I don't plan on it.
Yeah.
But I'll say that if you want something bad enough, you're gonna do everything worldly possible to make it happen. And that's kind of what I did with my journey. And I mean, I feel great. Feel better than I've ever felt. Like, I still have some pains in my knees and now and then, but that's just really like muscles and everything. Yeah, but honestly, I mean, I'm happy where I've gotten to at this point. You say you're gonna impact 1 billion lives, and if I can, impact people with weight loss, like, that's great. And it's funny because I've told my students about it. I remember telling my students about my journey and whatever.
Yeah.
And I showed them pictures, and even my driver's license picture, like, looking at that, like, I love that. Actually, that's probably one of the best things too.
Driver's license picture?
Oh, yeah, because like, you go get
quadruple chin?
Yeah, like, you go get carded, like, you have a drink or whatever, like, you go get carded.
Like, this is a fake ID.
No, I have to tell them. I have to tell them, like, yo, this is me. This is me. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. And they look and they're like, damn, you look amazing. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. Like, but honestly, I haven't changed my ID. That's kind of like that's a big deal for me. I love doing that. Yeah. I mean, I can't go get carded now because coronavirus, but yeah. Honestly, like, if you want something bad enough, honestly, go get it. And it's not easy. And I'll say this, you have to really want it yourself. So many people, from the time I stopped playing, that I retired playing football, till before I started the journey, everybody and their mother would tell me, yo, you need to lose weight, yo, you're too big, yo, this, that, and the other. And I would always kind of cry about it and be like, yo, I don't want to hear this. It's not until you self-accept and you look in the mirror and look and say, all right, I'm going to do this. That's probably the hardest first step, is to really say, do you really want to do this, or you fake wanting to do this?
Yeah.
Because there's the people who do fake want to do it, and then once the going, like the saying goes, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Like, that's the truth. Like, there's gonna be points where you're gonna hit a wall. And I remember times where I hit a wall, and I tell my trainer, I tell Bully, I'd be like, yo, Bully, like, I'm mad, bro. I'm not losing weight. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And just work through it. Honestly, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So like you gotta stay on the journey. Like the destination is just a point on the map, but how you get there, how you get there is more important.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my deal.
Where can everyone follow you? Where can they find you?
Coach Neiva everywhere.
Coach Neiva?
Yeah, Coach Neiva.
We'll put it here in the video.
Yeah.
Instagram,
Twitter. Not Facebook. That's my real name.
Okay.
But yeah, Coach Neiva everywhere pretty much. I try to make it as professional for my coaching career and whatnot.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my social media.